Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 13, or Legacy number 175. It's kind of a big deal, so we might as well add Doctor Doom to the mix, right? It's not a freaking spoiler because they've been giving us this for 2 months now, maybe longer, but at least 2 months. Anyway, he shows up at the end of this. You can figure out who it is just by looking at the gauntlets. Then he starts talking, and it was a really incredible entrance. I looked at this, I'm just like, oh my god, that is how you make a freaking entrance. Damn, that was good. Let's talk about the rest of this comic book after we give credit where credit's due. Al Ewing does the script. Juan Frigieri does the art. Sorry, I know I butchered that name. Did what I could. Federico Blee on colors and VC's Corey Petit on letters. Brett Booth, Delso Corona, and Guru FX do the cover. A whole bunch of variant covers out there, including Rob Liefeld, who says he's never going to work in Marvel again. That's odd, but hey, I like Liefeld, so who cares? This was a fun book, man. Whole bunch of really good stuff in this. And mind you, that's important to say because the progenitors were in here. And out of all of the incredible creations that Al Ewing has made, like the stuff that is stemmed from his very unique mind, his sci-fi horror mind, the progenitors suck. It's not even just that they're the least favorite of his creations. They're the only thing of his creations that I don't like. In fact, I don't like them so much. I dislike them so much that I despise them. And they pretty much got massacred in here, which I'm just like, yes. One of them actually got Unicroned, which I thought was great. He had a couple seconds where his head is just kind of hanging in the freaking void. And I'm just like, yes. How does it feel to be like cranially orbital? Like, dude, this was a really fun book. And I know you're thinking, Professor, you're giving us an awful lot. I can safely give you these without giving away half the book, without even giving 25% of what happens in this book, dude. This was really fantastic. There was a whole crap ton of action here while still being a story. There were a couple moments where people did stop for breaths and they did talk to each other just a little bit without the action slowing down in the slightest. It was great. A bunch of references back to issue number 1 and 9 where it's almost like Ewing recognized, and this is the genius that is Al Ewing. He recognized that a bunch of people fell off of the title. He must be looking at sales, looking at reviews, looking at, number of people doing reviews, whatever. But he clearly, evidently recognized this. And he goes back and he explains things, the stuff that we missed. The only thing that wasn't explained that I clearly missed was how come Groot is back to I am Groot again. I'm not complaining because F conversational Groot. I don't want to hear Groot talking about, oh, yeah, I was doing this and that. Shut up, say I'm Groot, and don't ever talk again. Don't you ever freaking talk. I swear to God, I will weed whack your ass. I will freaking whatever. I'll get the weed killer. You know what I'm saying? I'll come by with a freaking fiery axe and chop your ass down. Don't you. I am Groot. That's it. I don't even want the we is Groot. Just no. Stop. All of that said, man, this was, oh, wow, such an absolutely incredible comic book. It's great to see the story going back to where it was. It's great to see these characters who, like, I love these characters. And they're moving forward. They're kicking serious butt here. Like the progenitors were originally posed as some form of an opposite of the Celestials, which means ridiculous power levels. Clearly, they've been nerfed a lot, and I'm totally 100% down with it. Because honestly, F the progenitors. F the progenitors. Also, this book is going to be important to tie in with all of Al Ewing's other works, namely Sword. So, because it's already tied in. There's a reason why I came back to this book, because I could tell some of the stuff was over here. So, anyway. There's so many things I loved about this comic book. If I had to make one complaint about it, it would be that Quasar was, Wendell Vaughn was kind of chumped in this one. Like, aside from Moondragon, nobody's been doing this. On this team, nobody has been doing this for as long as freaking Quasar has. You could argue that Drax has, because he was right after Madame Evil, Madame Mick Evil, I think she was originally called before Jim Starlin came along and just, no, that's a stupid name, Moondragon. what do you call it? But Drax at the time, he was that goofy, fruity, loony one that couldn't remember anything, which includes being a superhero, which he wasn't really. He was just an anti-Galactus machine. So Wendell Vaughn, man, he's been kicking butt the longest on this team for the most part, and you don't talk down to him. You just don't. You don't like he was sitting there like, don't call me a rookie, and that's pretty much exactly what was happening. It's a shame. That said, yeah, he really should have brought a podcast. I miss Wendell Vaughn being Quasar. I miss that character. Like this was Grunwald at some of his best. I loved this stuff, and boom, he's back. He's back. He's kicking ass. He's taking names. Yeah, happy to be back on the Guardians. Happy to be back on yet another Al Ewing book because the guy's just amazing. The art in this book was fantastic. Also, the pencils, the inks, the colors, the letters. Really solid book. Really fantastic art. Nothing particularly stood out. Everything was kind of like a constant blend because there was so much action. Zero complaints here. It was hard to slow down to look at all the art because the writing was so fast paced, because it was so excellent. But nothing stood out. Nothing slowed me down from enjoying my story. I could read the story. I could see the action while I was reading, and then afterwards to really appreciate it, and then move on to the next one and kind of look at the action, read the story, go back and relook at, what I was looking at, and just, wash, rinse, repeat. But man, like in order to be able to do that with the kind of action and this kind of writing, it tells you how amazing you are when you're able to just do this so seamlessly. Guys, like I said, fantastic book. Dr. Doom is on the team as they've been promising for months now. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy I wanted to read. This is what I want to read since issue number 1. I'm glad this got back on track. I'm especially glad that Ewing was able to look at this and say, I need to course correct. Clearly, evidently, that's what happened. And it's amazing that he was able to do that and just get us all back on board without a slight reflection. Anyway, since I obviously can't talk anymore, I'm going to say like the video and watch an ad, and I will talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.